Can we get a round of applause for the outfit? Can we get a round of applause? Hey, Hoties. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is hautemesstom, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new to my channel is all about loving my makeup collection as it currently is. And when I do decide to bring something into my makeup collection, I like to be as considerate as possible when making that decision. I have some other ethoses too, but like we like to keep it as small as we can within reason, but like also imbibing sometimes enjoy. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe. All right, today we're gonna do a Let's Play with Makeup. Let's Play with Makeup is like essentially like my get ready with me's, but like I don't go anywhere, so we're getting ready for nothing. And the real hullabaloo, the real reason for the season is that I really wanted to I really wanted to apply the ISAMAYA palette on camera one more time for you. I will also be like doing like a final review video on this, like with all of my detailed thoughts, but it's something that people seem to want to see me use more. And so my challenge to myself today is to not use the silver, because it's like the color that I use the most in this palette. I thought I was gonna get away without a fan on, but it's hot. Okay, I tried. And the goal of Let's Play with Makeup is just for me to like talk about things. It's not really, I will reflect on the makeup at the end that I used, but it's not about the makeup, if that makes sense. Like we're just gonna talk about things, and I will like pull focus whenever I do my eyes, but with the rest of the face, we're like not really concerned about that. So I like let you know what I'm using, but I'm the star of this show, not the makeup. Can you believe in my 31 years of this non-binary life that this is the first time I bought mini skirts? Seems like a damn shame. Did you see that? Play it back for them. Joy. Just pure joy. I love them. I love them. I don't think I could do anything tighter. I'm not really like, I like a bodycon situation, but I don't like anything that like holds to my stomach. So I need it to start flowing away there. For the most part. Actually, that's not true. I wear really tight jeans, and I'll wear a high-waisted tight jean with it propped up, so I could be lying to you. Let's get the show on the road, though. I'm gonna get started. How's everyone? How are you? How are you? I'm feeling not as much devastation today as I have in recent weeks, which is great. We love less devastation. So here's what happened. Here's a recent thing. So I was supposed to see Shawn Mendes, and I don't know. I think I briefly touched on my affinity for the one and only Shawn Mendes on my channel, but I really like Shawn Mendes. Beyond thinking that he is so handsome and just so cute, I really like his music for the most part. Like sometimes it gets like a little bit too much for me, like a little too sentimental, but I really appreciate it, especially him as a man in pop music, being someone who's really vulnerable about his mental health. So if you aren't aware, Shawn Mendes is doing like a world tour from his album that was released in 2020 called Wonder, and so it was like the Wonder World Tour. And like much like many pop stars at the size of Shawn Mendes, he it was like many dates all across the world, and he did the first couple of weeks, and I mean I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it does seem like he burnt out, and I think we're gonna see a lot of this as things continually try to open up. Not only that, like Shawn Mendes is young. I think he's 23, or like he's about to be 23. Like he's young. I feel like I haven't really used this navy black shade really that much yet, so I'm gonna do that smoky on the outside. Okay, I don't think that's the right brush for that. I'm gonna try something a little more dense. So I think this is actually something we might see a lot of as stars start moving and doing tours again, but specifically some people the size of Shawn Mendes. Because if you're doing a world tour where it's like almost every night for like a year, you're gonna be on tour, that's a lot. And especially considering I'm sure that he had a lot of momentum when he was doing this all the time, but he hasn't done this in 3 years. Like I did see him in 2019, but like I can't imagine going from like no people for essentially 3 years to like all of the people. And so he did a post on his Instagram talking about how for his mental health that he needs to postpone 3 weeks of shows, which perfectly fine by me. Like, I didn't think anything of it, but I have this gut instinct that that show's never going to happen, because if they postponed it, that means that our shows are going to get added to the end, and I think he's going to run out of steam again and then realize that he's not going to be able to tour like he did 3 years ago. Like, I really think that's what what it'll burn down to, but I could be wrong. And, you know, the interworkings of Shawn Mendes, his team, and his mind, and what he might be willing to do and what willing not to do, that's all up to them and him. And I do hope, with my whole heart of hearts, that if Shawn Mendes does not want to finish this tour, like if he takes this 3-week break and he's not feeling it, that he just cancels it. And I know that's a lot of money, and I know there are a lot of people who are probably relying on that money that weren't Shawn, but I think what's best for him is to do what he needs to do. Anyway, I had meet and greet tickets, and that was supposed to be Wednesday of the week that I'm recording this. So it's Saturday as you're seeing this, so like a couple days ago. Here's what's a funny thing that happened. You know how like sometimes well, I don't know, maybe this is just a me thing. In these moments, we sometimes learn that perhaps our habits are a little bit weirder, or what things that happen to us are a little bit strange. But like, I have a strong internal clock. Like I like knowing what day it is, knowing when I need to be available. I woke up on Wednesday, like more tired than I have been in a long time. And it was so strange. Like normally once I get going, even on my most tired mornings, once I get going, typically, I am fine. Like I can handle the day. I literally was working yesterday and I like couldn't keep my eyes open. Like fully was just like, I was not with it. And it was so confusing too, because I had taken off the day of Shawn Mendes, but then I, decided not to take the day off after he postponed the show, so I could have my PTO back, whatever. And I punch into work. I work from home. I know I mentioned this many times, but in case you're new here and you're just like along for this conversation, you're like, what is this person doing? What's going on with them? I punch in, and they send out an email every day, like who's gonna be there, like who's working. And it said I was gonna be out that day, and I was like, oh, I was supposed to be out today, but I worked, and I should have logged in, saw that, and just been like, actually, I should just take the day off, because I was so tired. I was so tired. I think what I want to do is, there's actually this, well, hold on. Let's see. I'm going to do this blue shifty shade, like kind of all over the lid. I don't know. I might not be doing much in regards to the eye today. Is that the move? Is this what we like? I asked to me in this room by myself. Can you see it on camera? There we go. You know what? I'm going to use a little more of a dense brush for this. I think I don't need to use like the densest brush, but I do want more than what I'm getting, but I don't want to use my finger. So yeah, Shawn Mendes, that would have been fun, but such is life. Again, hoping for his general well-being and our eventual marriage. I'm just kidding about that. The conversation around Shawn Mendes' sexuality is very troubling. Like, every time I, like, talk about Shawn Mendes, and I'm like, oh, one day we'll be married, it's always in the most joking of senses. Like, I clearly have, like, I did the meet and greet with him once before, and my goal was not to make him uncomfortable. He said I looked incredible, we hugged. Wow. I'm, like, just, like, going back to that very moment. I was just, like, so shocked that was what was happening. And even thinking about it now, incredibly shocking. He said I looked incredible. In my brain, I was like, I'm gonna get that tattooed on me. And then I talked to him about, I had this pretty not toxic. I think I was doing okay at it, but it's not something that I would ever do now that I'm not even saying I'm like the most public of public figures. But what I am saying, but as now that I have a little more eyes on me, I would never do this like I did. But leading up to the Shawn Mendes concert, I was like doing this whole like skinny for Mendes, and I like lost 60 pounds before the concert because I was like triggered by this one picture that was taken of me, and I was like, I have to be skinny for Shawn Mendes. And I did it. And so we talked about Soul Cycle, but I've never done Soul Cycle. I do have a Peloton though. Okay, I think I'm gonna take this topper shade, this one that reminds me of Kava from the gold palette, and I'm gonna put that on top of the blue and give it some more razzle dazzle. Is this looking as pretty on camera as it is in real life? Like, can you just take it in? Could I just keep applying sparkles to my eyes all day? Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm gonna use, I use that green in almost every look. There's not really something left from my inner corner except for this other kind of topper shade that reminds me of like, it reminds me of Kava in practice, where it's like, it doesn't really have like a base pigment, but it has like beautiful green sparkles in it. I'm gonna try doing that on the inner corner to see if that does in fact do anything. Yeah, I mean, it's adding a little bit of something, but not the most. My goal, my unspoken goal of constructing this eye today was like, let's try to do something like a little more wearable than what I've been doing. And what I mean by wearable, but like perhaps something that feels a little more relaxed than what I have been doing with the palette. And I think I achieved that today. I also managed not to get glitter. Let's not, I was like about to speak too soon. I was like, I don't think I got glitter all over my hands, which makes sense because I didn't use my hands for any of the application. So really love that. I'm gonna prime my face. Okay, so I keep doing my makeup, right? And I'm really trying hard to make my green color corrector a part of, not every day, but like make it more regular, like something that I'm reaching for. And I will literally have it in front of me and forget to use it. And I will skip right on to foundation. It is so annoying. Speaking of foundation, I will casually say here that I did buy the new Hourglass foundation to review, so be on the lookout for that. Hopefully I can make it happen next week, part of next week's programming, but next week is Critical Sass Live, and then I don't know what else. I was at one point doing my Becoming series every other week, but I do think Becoming might have to be a once a month endeavor. But I have some people in mind. I'm looking forward to eventually sharing whenever they're live with you. You guys are really, really good at guessing, which is great, but annoying. So maybe I won't sneak peek them anymore. Maybe I'll just post them. Although I think it's fun to guess, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens then. Anyway. Sorry, I was just like fondly thinking of Shawn Mendes, and I like interrupted myself, and I was like, but we were talking about Shawn. Anyway, love him. He's great. He's wonderful. But again, yeah, I do think the conversation around his sexuality is like very troubling. And it's like, why does everyone care? And I think the most troubling part about it is that the people who are being the weirdest about it and the meanest about it are other... Is this the platform for this conversation? I'm gonna say gay men specifically. Not queer men. Gay men. I have been in all of my LGBTQIA people in the chat. I'm curious. I'm like genuinely curious about your thoughts on like this particular wave of thought. So, not every gay person describes themselves as queer. Not every trans person describes themselves as queer. Queer is like not an all-encompassing term. I think a lot of people have been in recent times like saying queer and kind of making it an all-encompassing thing. But there's like a lot of nuance to using the term queer even in the community. And what I mean by that is like some people just don't like to be called queer. And so I have been thinking a lot about this particular thought where, stay with me here if you're straight people in the chat, I see you. But I feel like this conversation could be a little over, not that you're stupid, but I don't know that this is a conversation for you to put your input in, so just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's not, but I just am like, wait. So I have been thinking a lot about how I feel othered from gay men, even though I used to identify as a gay man, but now I feel like queer is like almost the better identifier for me, just like overall. Like I am non-binary, but like I'm queer. And I do think that like the gay man to queer non-binary pipeline went something like this. It was like I was a gay man, then I was like, no, I'm a queer man, and then I was like, no, I'm not a man. Like it was just like, it was like this pipeline that like I went through, if that makes sense. But I do think a lot of the vitriol being thrown at Shawn Mendes in regards to him being closeted is coming from gay men, and not exclusively. I should make that clear, but I think maybe just it's because of the circles that I run in, and this is who I see saying these types of things. That's who I see talking about it. But I think there's something to it. Like, I feel, and this is just feelings, and just because I feel something doesn't always mean it's true. Like, my feelings on a general idea. I feel, I'm saying this is like as if someone's going to attack me. No, this is not a space in which we are like throwing vitriol, and I'm not. But I feel really, in the LGBTQIA umbrella, I feel the most disconnected from gay men. It's like this interesting thought. It's like not queer men. There are queer men in my life that I have the most fondness and respect and never feel othered by them, but gay men, I feel very othered by. And it's just like this interesting thought thing that I'm having, because I just think it's so different being like a queer man and being a gay man. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? And I just feel like a lot of the toxicity in the LGBTQIA umbrella surfaces with gay men. And I think if we look at heteronormative society, that makes a lot of sense. Because if gay men are at like the top of our pyramid as far as like who is the most respected by the general public, it's like, it's gay men, right? Like, it's like gay men, and specifically white gay men. And they're at the top of the hierarchy, and because they get treated minutely better than the rest of the LGBTQIA umbrella, it's like they think that they can bully us. Does anyone else feel that way? That's how I feel. And that's not to say that there aren't gay men that I do really vibe with and have a great time with, and they treat me very well. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to like start an argument that like all gay men are bad. If I'm looking at a majority of the people who cause problems within the community, like trying to out people who aren't ready to be out, I'm gonna say that it's like a lot of times gay men. Anyway, if you're a gay man, drop a hi. If you're a gay man in the chat, drop a hi. Say hi. I don't want you to say hi, gay. I don't think I've ever talked about this on camera, but I got an email from like a brand, and when I say brand, I'm using it very loosely, like not a brand at which we would shop at Sephora. So not like an indie brand that any one of us reveres. I think this is a brand whose, it felt scammy. I'll be using the Surratt Dewdrop foundation today, and they emailed me to my email to try to work with me. The email was, hi gay, which is like, okay, in the gay community, if you're not familiar, like on TikTok, there was this viral sound that went around, and you can like lip sync to people's sounds. And it was a comedian who like started this trend of being like, hi gay, welcome to Target. Like, and then here's all of the sales that slay. It's like a sound. I don't remember. It was something like that. It was probably not exactly like that. Anyway, me and a lot of my queer friends will be like, hi gay to each other as like a joke. But was I expecting a brand to reach out to me and start the email, hi gay? Now, there is one brand I would accept this behavior from. And it's exclusively because like if Trixie Cosmetics, like if Trixie Mattel personally emailed me, hi gay, I wouldn't even bat an eyelash. But I don't know these people. I don't know this brand. I don't know who this brand was that was trying to like hit me up to do very likely free work for them. And I didn't read past the I didn't even email them back. But I saw hi gay and I was like, I don't know what these people want, but I'm not interested. And it's not, don't get it twisted. It's not because like I have any kind of shame about being queer or gay or whatever. But like I have a name. I have a name, and like I can understand you think you're being really cute and you think you're really doing something by like emailing me like that. That wasn't the move. Just so you know, if you're a brand watching this and you want to work with me, don't say hi gay. Don't say hi gay man. Not that my name is too hard to spell. Make sure you spell my name right and make sure you get my pronouns correct. That's going to be my only advice to you as a brand who's trying to reach out to me. Oh my god. What a time. Ooh, have we ever done that? Let's try it. Okay, we're trying something new today. Anyway, I don't know how many of you are into fine dining. Fine dining. Okay, like let's a gastropub. But like a fancy gastropub. Because I think I've been to gastropubs that like I wouldn't consider to be like the fanciest. Anyway, I went to like this nicer restaurant in Pittsburgh for dinner on Sunday. And it was closed for a lot of the pandemic and it recently reopened for dinner. And so me and my friend made reservations to go there. And so the day comes and we go there, and like I needed to catch up with this friend. I needed to tell them a little bit about like the recent breakup I had. So we were drinking cocktails on a Sunday night, and like, but really nice cocktails. I had this thing called an Old Smoke, and I'm not really good at like describing beverages or describing food in general, but here I am trying. It had scotch in it. Aside. Me and my friend David, when we're making general statements about what other people think about us, we'll say people slay instead of like people say. But I do think that when people look at me, they probably aren't expecting me to be a scotch drinker or a whiskey drinker or a rye drinker, but that's preferred for me. I love a whiskey moment. I've never used this brush to like blend out contour, but I think this will be something that I do I like this. It's been working. It's working pretty well. It's keeping the contour concentrated where I want it. We love to see it. Do I want to use more creams? I haven't. Coming from me, this is like actually saying a lot. Like I haven't really used creams in quite some time. Ooh. And I can understand and respect why someone might think that I'm like a fruity, sweet beverage drinker, but it's like it ain't me. Like it ain't the vibe. It's not what I do. I really love a drink that tastes like poison. And I think I may have talked about this when I went on my trip to Chicago, but if you're new here, I guess you wouldn't really know because you weren't there. You probably didn't go back in my content. And that's okay. I'm not judging you for that, but I dug my brush in a little too much into this bronzer. So I'm going in gentler on this side to build it up to match the other side, although wasn't really my intention to go this bronze, but it's okay. We live, we laugh, we learn, and we love. So anyway, I drank this drink with scotch in it, and it was very smoky, and it was like just the ideal. Like that's an ideal beverage for me. Whiskey, scotch, or mezcal. Something, and that's really smoky. But someone asked this on like the Not Gonna Lie thing on Instagram, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just at hautemesstom. I like don't really talk about it, but people have been enjoying my asides there, I guess. So if you want to follow me, go ahead. It's always linked down below. Like all of my, there's like a section called like where else to find me, and if you click on that, it's like everything else I do that isn't individually linked. We had truffle French fries, which if there's a way to my heart, it is through a truffle French fry. And I forgot that this particular restaurant makes like shoestring truffle fries. I like will not eat a shoestring fry at home. Like, but at a restaurant, mama, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different experience. It's a whole different vibe. I am sitting in this skirt right now and I feel so free. I feel so free. I just want you to know that. Like, I want you to know that I'm wearing this high-waisted skirt and I'm living in the sit. I will apply this later because the blush that I want to wear is going to be powder. So I am going to powder my face right now. And then we also got mussels. And I'm not like the biggest of seafood people. Like that's not my fish. But I got the mussels because my friend really wanted the mussels. And so we got them and we shared them. And what a great decision. They were so good. Like they were unbelievably good. And like, again, not something like if you would have if I looked at the menu and I was picking out something for us to share, I wouldn't have picked the mussels. But she was really hell-bent on it. Not hell-bent like causing a ruckus and like was like, we need to have them, but suggested. And I was just like, okay, they were so good. They were so good. And the juice, and it muffled. I didn't put concealer on. Perhaps I should just give away all of my concealers. I'm so bad. I forget to use them all the time. I'm going to be using this Jouer blush palette today. And then I was looking at the menu. The place is called, if you've ever been to Pittsburgh or if you ever, whatever, it's called Meat and Potatoes. And so that sounds like really serious, right? So we had French fries and my friend ends up getting pork chop and I got salmon. And I didn't get the salmon for like any particular reason. I keep saying I'm on revenge body mode right now, and like I sort of am, but like not a journey that I'm documenting publicly. But anyway, I keep joking that I'm on like this revenge body kick. And I got the salmon, but I literally didn't get the salmon because I thought it was like healthier or anything. It just was like the thing that spoke to me on the menu, which is so rare for me. Like I don't really like seafood, but it looked so good. And it was so good. Woo! Almost like a little bit Mexican-y, but it wasn't. It wasn't, because it ended up being like sweet. There was like a sweet sauce on it. It was so good. So good. Yum, yum, yum. And I also had a Manhattan. Yeah, I had a Manhattan too. Not the Old Smoke. I had also a Manhattan. We also drank somewhere else before we had dinner too. So it was like a nice little night. But then the bill came and I was like, oh yeah, this is why I don't do this all the time. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this was a treat. Like, it was legitimately a treat. Like, oh, what a treat to see my friend and like do this thing with my friend. But also it was like a treat for myself too, because it was so expensive. That was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing that happened. And like, I have a lot of stuff coming up, guys. So Charlie XCX, which if you recall, I think that was Christmas? Like during Messmas, I was trying to buy Charlie XCX tickets, which I did acquire. It's finally happening. Like it's almost been a whole year. It's finally happening. Had to have been, because I felt like it was something that was happening every day. And then someone was like, you didn't even tell us if you got the tickets. It was during a foundation review, because I was recording every day in a row for some reason. It was a foundation review. I don't remember which foundation I was reviewing at the time where the Charlie X. Anyway, Charlie XCX is coming up. But also, I'm seeing Muna that week, 2 days before Charlie XCX. And on Thursday night, before Charlie XCX, there's like a hyper pop dance party that I'm going to. And so here's my, always with me, another aside. Here's my new thought process. So I have personally still been masking in public. And I realize that the mandates have been lifted. And if you are someone who hasn't been, this is not judgment upon you. Okay? So like, but I have not gotten COVID thus far into the pandemic. I'm using black coffee from Pat McGrath in the waterline. I think there's like essentially an inevitability of like me eventually getting it. And I do want to mask up for all of this stuff, right? There's a number of reasons that I want to mask up, right? Like, I have a friend who has a small baby, and you know, I want to be responsible, and I also want to, like, if I would have COVID, right? I don't want to have a moment where like I saw that friend and then potentially I gave the family COVID. Like I don't want that to happen. And like my best friend, they're my best friend. They have a baby. They're a parent of a baby. I don't want, I want to continue. I don't want to mess anything up for anybody. Also, I generally just don't want to get COVID. I kind of get, and this is like a larger conversation, like I get envious of those who have decided not to mask anymore. Because it's like, it'd be really nice to go to a dance party and not have to wear a mask, right? And like do my full face of makeup and like fully feel the fantasy, etc. Like, I don't know where to land on that, because I would really like that. But it's funny, all of these events that I'm going to with my friend who has the young baby at home, and I'm sure they'll be wearing a mask. So I will just match the energy very likely. But it's not even like I really want to rebel. It's such a, it's like, I just, it's like, here's, inevitably, I'm gonna wear a mask. Like, I'm fairly certain that's what will happen. And then I'll wear the mask. I still will have a great time. Except, like, I'm just gonna be jealous of everyone who I'm around, who isn't doing that, and, like, getting to feel the freedom. And I realize that I can do whatever I want. I have bodily autonomy. I mean, as of now, I have bodily autonomy. You know, there was a second while I had been talking about all of this where I was like, I should probably just edit this out, but no, I think I'm gonna leave it in. However, I respectfully ask that if we are gonna comment about masks in my comment section, that we do so respectfully. In regards to anything, in regards to the fact that I still wear a mask, in regards to the fact that you may not, or that someone else in the comment section may not. We're not having fights about this. Not in my comment section. And I hate that I have to say things like that. Like, I hate that I have to, like, say that. But I think it's worth noting. I'm gonna spray my face. I don't know what lip I want to wear today. I have an idea. I don't know if it will work. So what I'm gonna do, let's see if this works, is I'm going to put on Lavender Jade from MAC first. I probably should remove the lip balm I have on. I don't think MAC actually makes this shade anymore because I looked for it once to link it and I couldn't find it. So I think they discontinued the shade. But I don't want my lips to be this color. But I do want, like, purple. I'm going to put the Merit Signature Lip in Slip, which is like this yellowy brown. I want it to, like, kind of neutralize the purple, but because these aren't completely pigmented, like they aren't completely opaque, I think perhaps we will get, like, a muted purpley brown. And here's the best part about makeup, everyone, is that I can take it off if it looks bad. Here we go. Okay, almost. We almost did it. I think I'm gonna try 1990. Like, it definitely neutralized it a little bit. Like, it's not as, like, purple, but I don't think we neutralized it enough. And I thought that perhaps 1990 might be a bit too much to put on top, like maybe too dark. But I think perhaps it might get me where I want us to be. That did the trick. And I think what I'm gonna do is tap on some Lunaris that I have on my cheek in the center. I mean, it's kind of a cool lip, right? I don't know if it's the best thing I've ever done, but I tried. I tried something different. I'm gonna put mascara on. And we're done. This is the face. Ooh. Aww. Take it in. Cha-cha, real slow. No concealer. Who are they? The fantasy is felt. Get into this eye. Like, can you even? It's definitely not the most difficult eye I've ever constructed on camera. Like, it was very simple. It's just like black and then fun sparkly things on top. What a fun look. As I like to do in these videos, is I'm gonna talk about everything I used today and just touch down on my feelings like it. So whenever I do these Let's Play with Makeups, it's to use parts of my collection that perhaps I haven't used in a while, or to continue furthering my thoughts on things that are newer to my collection. And sometimes Old Faithfuls will just, like, come up too. I use the Atelier eye primer. If you haven't seen it, I did an eye primer video. This is my favorite eye primer. It's my favorite eyeshadow primer for sure. Like, favorite general eyeshadow primer. I have other things that I like to use for very specific things, but like if I could only pick one, it'd be this one. The Pat McGrath powder, I used it very little today. I just used it on my eyes, but I enjoy this powder. The ISAMAYA palette, I mean, if you've been watching, I think you know that this is really inspiring to me, but I feel like I did a look today that is incredibly wearable for people who might even be scared of this color story. But yeah, I continue to be inspired and like want to stick my fingers in here, and I just feel like this is... Okay. Okay. Spoiler for if you want to wait until my final thoughts video, but if you don't, I think this is the first eyeshadow palette I ever picked up and held in my hands and thought, I want to use every single one of these shades until they're gone. I'm just saying. Doesn't mean you need it, by the way. It's just saying, like, for me, in my hands, the way I feel about it, that's how I feel about it. We really loved playing with that today. We did what we needed to do. Primer. I am currently trying just to pan this Pat McGrath primer. I've had it for a while. I don't hate it enough that I feel like I need to declutter it, but it's too old for me to confidently give to someone and be like, you use it now. And so I just want to use it. I like don't want to be wasteful. And so that's what but it worked well today. It's fine. My skin looks really good. Speaking of my skin looking really good, the Surratt foundation, I think I might almost be done with this. I have a backup of it. Spoiler alert, my favorite foundation of all time so far that I've tried is the Surratt Dewdrop foundation. Really, really like this. And a thing I've actually been doing is I've been using much less foundation than I once did. So I don't even use as much of this as I used to. And while there's not a full ounce in here, I did feel like it got me pretty far. But I also don't think that this would be a really good everyday foundation. Like, if it was your only foundation, like, if you didn't have a couple to cycle through, because you would run through this pretty quickly, I imagine. But I don't wear foundation every day, so I can't speak on that. So this bottle has lasted me quite some time. But I also have had many other foundations to cycle through as I've used this. The Fenty Cream Cheeks in Amber. Cheeks Out in Amber. I just want to pan this all the way. Every time I do a face, I just use this. I throw it on. I'm just trying to get... It's not like I'm getting through it, like slugging through it, like I'm so ready to be done with it, but like sort of that. I would love to try another cream. I would like to try another cream contour, but there's not space in my life for that right now. And so I will just continue to use this until it's gone. So it's a good product though. The Le Beige, the Chanel Le Beige Bronzer. If you're new here, this is like one of my favorite things of all time. I really, really enjoy this. Even the new formulation, I really like it. I don't know. I never tried the old one, so I can't speak to that, but I really like this product. I think it looks really good on the skin. I would say that I went overboard on my cheeks with it today, but we all know that that would be a lie if I said that to you. The Chantecaille Blur Powder, I mean, I love her. I really do. I think we're getting close to pan. Which, what a day that would be. What a day that would be to hit pan. I know that some people with oily skin really run through powder, but I don't do that. I really only powder at the vanity. The Rodial contour powder is nice. Again, another thing that I am trying to fully pan. I repressed this once already, and I imagine I'm gonna have to repress it again. I was like, I'm gonna have to repress it soon. Didn't think it was gonna be because I was dropping it though, but whatever. It's fine. These Jouer blushes, I only used the lighter one today. I didn't use the deeper one, but I think I really like the Jouer formula of blushes. I feel like I'm not always reaching for powder blushes kind of right now. I'm not like a complete cream cheek convert. Sometimes I do just like to use powder because for some psychological reason I've decided in my brain that powder is easier, but that's not really the case. But beautiful formula, really finely milled, feels really good on the skin. So reminder that I like it. It's also one of my only cool tone blushes that I have. So, you know, we were doing a little bit of a cool tone look today, and so I was like, okay, well, we gotta. I did use this today, and I think that's a win all in itself. The highlight Lunaris, this is another thing that I think is really close to pan. There's like quite the divot in here, but I don't really use this that much because it's like such a special effects, not special effects highlighter, but it's just like, if I, like, sometimes in the summertime or like in the warmer months, whenever I go out, I don't really like do a full eye look, and I just do like a really interesting blush cheek combo, and this is like what that's really good for. But every now and then I do a sparkly blue eye, and I'm like, well, Lunaris has to be part of the look. The eyeliner from Pat McGrath is really nice. The ISAMAYA Rubber Lash. Again, a little bit spoilery if you're waiting for my final thoughts, but like, I don't know that I would buy this again. Like, first of all, I don't know if it will be an option for me to buy again, because ISAMAYA is like running her brand as like a fashion seasons, so I don't know that this will be the mascara that comes out next time, but I would say if you were interested in trying ISAMAYA's formula of mascara in the future, maybe not this one, but like it's something that's on your radar, I'm gonna say that she did a really good job formulating this one and that I really, really like it. And then the whole lip situation that I did, I actually had fun. I actually think it looks good. As it's sitting with me longer, I like it more. I think it looks really cool. So, you know, the Merit Signature lips changed my whole life whenever it came to lipsticks. They're like my favorite lipstick formula, my favorite lipsticks of all time at this juncture. Like, really do it for me. And I think it's specifically the colors that I have too. Like, I have 1990 and Slip. So also just like generally very wearable shades for me and like shades that I will often reach for. But they really toned down Lavender Jade in such a way that it makes it almost looks like I have a lip gloss on. It doesn't look like I did all that work for that, which is, you know, in the end, pretty good. All right. Oh my god, I didn't say... I'm gonna have to insert this. Hey, Hoties. Maybe I did. I have no idea. So if that was inserted at the beginning and you're seeing it again, means that I forgot to say hey, Hoties at the beginning. But anyway, Hoties, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you so much. If you aren't subscribed to my channel and you've been watching and you made it all the way to here, why aren't you subscribed? Hit the button. It's right there. And it's free. Not even like Tinstoffel free, like really free. And if you want to support me further, I'm also on patreon.com if you want to support me there. And the least you could do is just leave me a nice little like on this video. And if you have responses to anything I said, less the masks, in regards to the conversations that I had sparked, I would love to hear what you think. Anyway, I appreciate you all so much for watching. And remember to follow your haute, and you will find me. I will see you in the next video. Bye! One more round of applause for the garments. For the outfit. I bet a homophobe has dropped a nasty comment seeing me doing my homosexual activities on the platform. Okay, bye!